Welcome everyone, this is Masters Joke, also Masters Joke 75 on Instagram. So after fully recovering from the Stranger Things experience last weekend, this weekend, a little bit different, going to the Collectormania 27 event at the NEC in Birmingham. Now, I haven't been to this event since, it was actually the 1st of May 2019. I know the date because it was exactly 1 month after I got back from Florida. And then I never went again because, well, you know what happens. So, yes, this is my first time back. I personally think it's a really, really good event. And I've been loads of times because Collectormania used to be in Milton Keynes, which is just down the road from where I live. So I used to go to the events. I think I can't remember what year it was, but the last event I went to for Collectormania, I can't remember what number it was, but that would have been at the MK Dons Stadium in Milton Keynes. And, you know, it's not a massive event, but it was a really, really well-planned event, really good guests, loads of toys and action figures, which is obviously another one of the reasons why I go. And also the sporting stars. So, I mean, I go to the NEC anyway on a regular basis because I go to they do like a toy fair 2 or 3 times a year, and it's like one of the biggest in Europe. So going to going to like a Comic Con, a lot of the people go to the Comic Cons. They tend to be more into like the cosplaying or the Funko Pops, you know, that kind of stuff, manga. But I obviously collect my vintage action figures, you know, such as Star Wars, also like the Doctor Who figures and the He-Man. So sometimes you can get a good bargain at these Comic Cons, depending on what time of day it is. Got to be in the right place at the right time. So I thought, you know, I'll give it a go and see what happens. Let's just say I came away from the event with a Last 17 Star Wars figure, which I've never even held, let alone ever seen before. I mean, I'm aware of the figure, but I'd never seen it for sale back in the day when I was buying Star Wars. Also, I've realised with this actual action figure, this Last 17, I also found out that my wife actually bothers to watch my videos on YouTube. So, so I can't actually say much about it because let's just say it wasn't cheap. I'll save that for another video. But yeah, the event was it was a really, really good event. I used to come to the NEC back in the noughties. I used to come on a regular basis to it was like a Comic Con. It wasn't Collectormania. It was called Memorabilia, and I used to go probably 2 or 3 times a year because not only do I collect like Star Wars and action figures and vintage toys, I also collect football shirts. Mainly Arsenal, but I've got a selection of other shirts from other teams. I specifically like the shirts from the 90s, so I have got I've got a few shirts from other teams from the 90s. But yeah, I've been to a lot of signings, and I used to go to a lot of signings back in the day. I think the last one I went to, I was supposed to be meeting Paul Merson, but he didn't turn up, and I read about him the next day in the paper. Apparently he went on a bender. I never did meet Paul Merson, but that was the memorabilia event, and I also met like Sir Geoff Hurst and also the great Jack Charlton as well. But this is you know, obviously I've been here many times before, both at the NEC and the MK Dons Stadium, but it's a really decent event. But one of the main reasons I've come to this one, I think it's quite it's quite a straight drive from where I live in Bedfordshire. It's got, you know, good parking and stuff. It's a reasonable price to get in. I mean, we got a family ticket, so it was just for the three of us. But we could have brought another child in with us if we'd had another child that we could be bothered bringing with us. But it worked out like £24. So again, it's a good price. But one of the main reasons I came was obviously we went to the Stranger Things experience last week because my son is a massive fan, and Angela, the school bully, played by Elodie, she's here at the NEC the Saturday and the Sunday, both days, but also Jodie Whittaker, the current Doctor Who. So so basically Jodie Whittaker's the main reason that I've come to the Comic-Con, because she was only there on the Saturday. So Jodie Whittaker's the main reason I've come. But obviously I'm on a toy hunt as well, and just to see what's about. These fire trucks and fire stations, this is like a display from the Brick Festival. It's another event run by Showmasters, and I've not been to any of their events, but I know they're doing one in London. They're doing a Brick Festival in Milton Keynes. I think it's the end of October, and I definitely, because I love my Lego as well. It's I collect so much rubbish, but I love my Lego as well. So I'm definitely going to think about going to the Brick Festival in Milton Keynes. I think it's on the 31st of October. I think it is. Don't quote me on that. And they had one in Cheshunt, and Showmasters has been going on for years, and I used to go to their local events. Well, I say local, it was local to me when I lived back in North London back in the day. But I used to go to the smaller like toy fairs and Star Wars events that they had in Cheshunt near the Old Pond. And they've always been like great. I think Ray Parks. This is going back in the early noughties, but I remember Ray Parks was there, and quite a few Star Wars guys. But this event has always been good, and I've always managed to pick up some good bargains along the way. I've got to be honest, I don't think I've spent so much money ever at a Comic-Con. The last Comic-Con I was at was the Milton Keynes, I can't remember what it's called, the Milton Keynes Film and Comic-Con, which was, I think it was a few months back, and that was a really small event. There was no guest signings, and I think it was their first one since the restrictions got lifted. But this is my first like big Comic-Con, since 2019, and I think I spent so much money. It's the Funko Pops. It's because my son's at that age where, he's of that generation where he's into computer games. He's not into playing with toys like I was, but he's into collecting toys that are in boxes, that you keep in boxes and put on display. So he's well into his Stranger Things at the moment. I mean, look at that Gremlins with a balaclava, absolutely fantastic. But yeah, he's well into his Stranger Things. So we got him, I think it was 4 Stranger Things Funko Pops. And as I said, I'm going to do a separate video just to show all my pickups. But yeah, they weren't cheap. But he wanted to get Elodie, Angela from Stranger Things, to sign one of his Funko Pops. And obviously she hasn't, I'm not sure if she's going to be in season 5, because I know that 11 has now moved back to Hawkins. So I'm not sure if she is going to be in series 5, but she doesn't currently have a pop, which meant we had to go and find an 11 pop for Elodie to sign. But yeah, we did spend quite a bit of money. But you got, as I said in the last video, you've got to treat yourself. But yeah, but I did when I started to add everything up and then add up what was spent at the Stranger Things experience, I'm not looking forward to seeing my bank statement at the end of the month. But I think Elodie, she was like 20. I think she was £20. You can have like a photo shoot with her or an autograph, and they supplied a photo. And Jodie Whittaker, she was £75. But you know, you don't have to do this. But I just thought it would be so nice to. Because I know she's had a lot of stick, but I like Jodie Whittaker. I think I think she's a great doctor. I don't think her stories and her scripts have been of the quality that she deserves. But I really like Jodie Whittaker. I think she's great. And as I said, it was one of the main reasons that I wanted to come to this Comic-Con, because she's the current Doctor. I know she's got one episode left. And the BBC have said that her final episode is going to be next month in October. But she's the current Doctor. I did meet Paul McGann at a sign-in. What was that? So that would have been. I think that was 2003. So that would have been the 40th. It was actually on the 40th anniversary of Doctor Who. It was the 23rd of November. At the where was it? I don't know if anyone remembers the old 10th Planet shop, which was it in Dagenham or down that way? And I met Paul McGann in there. Really nice guy. So technically he was the current Doctor, but obviously he hadn't done an episode since 1996, although he was doing the Big Finish audio dramas. But yeah, I wanted to see Jodie. As I said, I think she's great, and she's the current Doctor. So she was probably the main reason that I came to the event today. But there was so much to see. There was loads of cosplay. One of the disappointing things that I did notice from the event, because obviously I've been to other events in the past, and there was no stormtroopers. Even at the smaller event, I can't remember the company who ran it, but the smaller event, who are going to do another one next year and hopefully have some guests, even they had Star Wars, people in Star Wars, cosplay and stormtroopers and things like that at their smaller event. But I didn't see one stormtrooper at this event at all. There was loads of people dressed up. There was I've never seen so many people dressed as the 13th Doctor ever. I mean, obviously I've seen it on YouTube and stuff, but I've never seen it in real life. And there was just loads of people, and not just ladies. There was also men as well. And the actual costumes that they were just like spot on. Really big efforts. But I've got to be honest. When I went, I keep saying that, but when I went to the toilet at the NEC in the actual where the convention was, I was just turning the corner because it said gents. I turned the corner, and then this person dressed as Jodie Whittaker came out of the toilet, and just for a split second I thought to myself, am I walking into the ladies? But it was a gentleman dressed as Jodie, and I got to say, he had like long blonde hair. He looked amazing. He looked like, honestly, his costume was fantastic. And there was some of the Doctor Who cosplayers. There's a couple of them who I converse with on Instagram, and I recognised a couple of them, and they changed their costume throughout the day, and that was probably because they were doing photo shoots, because you didn't just have Jodie there, you also had Sylvester McCoy, who's a great Doctor, a great guy, and he also did a talk as well, which was all part of all part of your entrance fee. You don't have to pay extra for that. So Sylvester McCoy was there. Colin Baker was there. He's my favourite Doctor, and I don't care what anyone says. He's my favourite Doctor out of all of them. He was there. You had Jo Martin, who is the fugitive Doctor. She was there as well. And you had the Master. Now, I think the current Master, I think he is so. I mean, he's a great actor, especially when he was in the Adventures in Time with David Bradley. I think he's a great actor, but I think he is. Well, I think he's one of the best masters of all time, because he is just a complete psycho when he plays a character. And again, this is my opinion, but he's absolutely nuts. He's balmy. I think he's a great master. I would have liked to have met him, but there's only so much money that there's only so much money that you can actually spend. You can't start taking a mortgage out when you go to a Comic-Con, because I just spent too much money. And also, there's only room for one master. There's only one master's joke. So, but he came to the party late, because I think he only got his name only got mentioned in the last week or so, and Jodie was only recently, I think, in the last couple of weeks, which is when I found out, and I thought, yep, I'm going for that. But with who else was there? And I think that they were the only Doctor Who guys there. But as I said, I think that's why there was different costume changes for some of the cosplayers, because they were doing photo shoots and all that. And I'm not bothered about photo shoots. I'm too old for that kind of thing. But I haven't done like got an autograph of anyone. It must be for years and years and years. But it's just because when I found out a couple of weeks ago that Jodie was going to be there, I thought, let's do it. But enough about Jodie. Did I pick up any good bargains? Well, as I said, so I bought a last 17 figure, and I'll reveal that at another time, just in case the wife's watching. I bought a dewback from one of the guys who was selling loads of vintage Star Wars. I mean, his prices seemed high, but you don't have to buy, do you? But I've always, I don't remember the dewbacks back in the day. I've never seen them for sale. I've never held one. I've only seen them, in like toy museums or toy books. But he had one. He wanted £25 for it. I had to think about it. I was going to buy some other stuff of him. I'm sort of glad I never now. So I bought this dewback, £25. It looked all right. It looked in quite good condition. I got it home. I was having a look at it, and his leg come off in my hand. It was glued on. So that was really disappointing. But then I'm disappointed that I'm disappointed that I never spotted it. But if I'm honest, if I had checked that leg, it probably would have come off in my hand. I'm disappointed he never told me that the leg had been glued on, because I wouldn't have bought it. Even if it was 15, I wouldn't have bought it. I would have wanted it all intact. I mean, the actual leg joint itself is a bit cracked, so I can glue it back on. But why should I? So I'm not happy with that. But I'm kind of thinking, if I'm being realistic, a dewback with 4 legs, would it really have cost £25? Maybe it was £25 because it was damaged and he just forgot to tell me. He was quite busy, so that might have been what it was, and I had to wait for him because he's I don't know if it was his partner or someone who worked with him, but she told me to wait while he was coming back. He was dealing with another customer, so it might have just been an honest mistake. But you got to take it on the chin, I suppose. I'll get it glued and I bought it as a display piece anyway for my Star Wars figures. But I also bought I think I bought 10 other vintage Star Wars figures, and I also got some vintage collection figures. I've got some coasters because my son needs coasters for his new bedroom, so I got him some Stranger Things coasters, and I'll show you all that to you later. I'm trying to think, what else did we get? Just too much. But the Funko Pops, they were very, very expensive, especially the Stranger Things ones. But you know, he's my boy. Do I spoil him? Yeah, but you know, why do I spoil him? I spoil him because I love him. But the Elodie, when we met Elodie, I've got to say she was absolutely lovely. Now I know she's American, but when I was talking to her, she sounded a bit English, but I don't. She's got like an American twang, but she sounds quite posh. But she was absolutely lovely. So so my son, he got his Funko Pop 11 signed by Elodie, and then I also I got one of the photos and got her to sign my photo with me and my son's name on. So that'll go in his bedroom. And as I say, the master was there with Jodie, and then we went to meet Jodie, and I got to say she was absolutely lovely. You know, I mean, I didn't say, you know, I didn't really have a big conversation, but it was so nice that she let us take a selfie, and you know, she said a bit of small talk and stuff. You know, she was a busy lady that day, but the whole event was brilliant. I definitely will be going again. I think they're doing a London one, and I haven't been to a London Comic Con for years either. I mean, really, I can't afford to go to a Comic Con really, but I think I'd like to go to one of the London ones. I mean, the Stranger Things cast, they're bound to be showing up at some of the London cons, because you had Hopper. I think that was earlier this year. Was it like June, July time? So Hopper was in London, and I know my son would really like to meet him. And obviously now I've got my partner in crime. My son can come with me as long as I buy him the pops that he wants. So yeah, I definitely want to go to a London one. If not this year, it'll be the year after. But thinking about the Showmasters event, I did say there was no Stormtroopers. Another one of the disappointing things about it was the last one I went to in 2019, and also the ones in Milton Keynes. They used to have other things to do. Now I know that some people were moaning, and these were I say moaning, but you get a lot of people who just go specifically to meet the stars or collect autographs, because there's a lot of stalls that sell autographs that have already been done. But they were saying that there was nothing to do in between waiting for photo shoots and waiting for other times to have autographs with some of the stars. And the last time I was there in 2019, you had your arcade, your free retro arcade. You had your free section where you had like the home computers, the old Atari consoles and stuff like that. There was a lot more going on at previous events. I mean, there was no TARDIS. There was no TARDIS to get your little photo taken. No Daleks. There was not one single Dalek, and you would have thought there would have been more like Doctor Who stuff there, considering that you had 4 Doctors there on the day. So there was no Daleks, but you did have other photo opportunities. So you had like E.T.'s bike, so you could have your photo taken in front of the moon with E.T. in the front basket. They had Bill and Ted's phone booth, time machine, and also the Back to the Future DeLorean, which was really good. And it was only a small fee just to pay to get your photo taken. But yeah, really, really good day out. Highly recommended. I really enjoyed myself. I'm totally skint now. Will I be back? Yes, I will. Fantastic event. Look forward to the next one, and we'll definitely try and attend the London one. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. It lets me know you care. See you in the next video. As I say, I'm going to do a video to show all my pickups that I got from the NEC, and also from the Stranger Things experience. So that will be coming soon. So see you in the next one. The vlog is over.